Hey y'all, so in this video I want to share some tips on how to effectively study at home during quarantine. I used to always worry about what people thought of me and would try so hard to live by society's standards. Then I realized that I was created to be different, and regardless of what I did, I would never fit in. So I decided to follow my dreams instead. Join me on this journey as I grow in my faith, go through the ups and downs of pharmacy school, and most importantly, being God's masterpiece. So I know with being home, it can make studying so much harder for those of you who are still in school. You had to drastically change your study habits because of social isolation during this time of the coronavirus. I've heard so many students talking about how it's been such a struggle for them because they don't want to get any work done because they're home. So it's just like, how do you even study during this time of quarantine? So in this video, I want to share some tips with you on how I was able to study at home or in my dorm room and, without going to the library. Tip number 1. Find a place to study other than your bed. If you have a desk in your room, clear off your desk, remove the laundry that's sitting on top of it that you need to fold, and actually utilize your desk to do your work. So I find that it's so much harder when you are in bed to get work done because you just get lazy, you get tired, your pillow's right there, and you're just like, you know what, I'll take a 10-minute nap, I'll take a 20-minute nap, and then that turns into a whole 2-hour nap, and you miss out on all of that studying. So after you have a desk, some of you are just like, okay, I sit at my desk, but I struggle. I struggle getting to my desk. I struggle just getting work done. Help me. Something that my friend and I did while we were in school is that we would study together via FaceTime. She was studying for her MCAT and I was studying for my pharmacy exams. So how this would work is that we would both set aside time that we were going to study. So we would say, okay, for the next 2 hours, we're going to just focus on studying or just getting work done. And then we'll take like a 30-minute break. We would put both of ourselves on mute so that way we weren't a distraction to each other. And when we were studying, if we noticed that one of our phones went on pause, that meant that they were probably on their phone. And if it wasn't break time, that was not okay. So we would call each other out, be like, hey, why's your phone on pause? What are you doing? It's like, oh, I'm sorry. I got like a notification on Instagram or something like that. And it's like, no. Back to work until we have our 30-minute break. This helped so much. Like we would study. I remember one time we studied for like a good 8 hours straight just because it was really effective. And I remember getting so much work done. And another tip to add with FaceTiming your friends to study, or I would just keep it limited to like one friend or maybe two, but you just don't want it to get too crowded or too much of a distraction. During our break, something that my friend suggested that was a really good idea was that we would teach each other 3 things that we learned in our study session. So in that hour that we studied during our 30-minute break or however long your break is, we would teach that other person 3 things that we learned. And this was really effective because when you teach someone something that you learned, you're able to understand it better. It sticks in your mind better because that shows that you truly understand the material. And if you're not able to teach it, then that means that you have a little more studying to do on that topic. So this helped a lot, especially when you have a lot of material to study, especially when you have a lot of things to go through. This way of studying can really help you to stay focused, stay motivated, and have some accountability. So that's definitely something that I would consider doing if you are at home and you're struggling with trying to study. So during your break, what you can also do if you utilize QUIZLET. QUIZLET is a great resource if you want to study flashcards. You can make your flashcards on there. You can send the link to your friend and they can quiz you. Even without having a friend, QUIZLET is great because they can quiz you yourself. So you can make the cards and they have tests that they can formulate so that way you can take it, see how you're doing. You can focus on the areas where you got those questions wrong. So I love QUIZLET. QUIZLET is a great tool to utilize, especially during this time of social isolation. isolation so you can really get motivated and focus on your work. Another tip that I would suggest is if you are really struggling trying to study, or not being distracted, or you constantly are taking naps, I would put on regular clothes. Get out of your pajamas, put on some jeans, and put on a nice top or something and study that way. Why? Because I don't know about you, but I do not like to wear like my jeans in my bed or like a nice outfit in my bed. Like, I just feel so uncomfortable. So by doing that, you limit the amount of times that you want to go into your bed and want to take a nap, and that can help motivate you a little bit more because you're actually getting ready to go study. And if your room is a struggle for you, I would recommend studying at maybe like the dining room table in your kitchen, in the living room, just somewhere else that's not your room, so that way you can just really stay focused. But yeah, so those are all the tips that I have. I know it's really difficult. It's already hard to study in and of itself, but now adding on that you can't, go to the places that you usually would go to study, like the library or a coffee shop, it makes it that much more difficult. So I really just, encourage you all to just really stay motivated. We are almost at the end of the semester, so just continue to stay strong and just trust that everything is going to work out. Y'all already know the deal. You can comment below or you can email me at behismasterpiece@gmail.com. Go out, be kind, be caring, be loving, and as always, be his masterpiece. Bye, y'all.